Welcome to a new episode of Inside the Athletic Club, where my co-founder Eric Woerner and I talk about business, life, family, and how to grow a multi-billion-dollar startup. Have a listen.
Go hard.
Boom! Let's see. One of the topics that I'd like to talk through, you and I talk about a lot of, sports, and, that in any sport, there's a ton of skill sets. And when you have a ton of skill sets, you have to practice your skills. But what a lot of athletes don't talk about is the mindset. Okay. When you go through your skills portion of everything that you do, what is the value of the mindset that allows the athlete to propel to the next level? Okay, and let me give you an example. You have A+ skills with an A+ mindset.
Greatness.
Those are greatness, right? Unicorns, right? Those are coaches' dreams. Okay. Then you have A+ skills with a B mindset. Okay. They'll do 20 drills one time. Okay. Then you have B skills, but with an A mindset. Over time, the B skills with the A mindset surpass the A skills with the B mindset, right? So what is, in your experience, talk about mindset and how you've approached that. I know you've taught a lot of athletes, ones that play professionally to youth. What is the mindset approach and growth strategy that you teach to these to train how to have that mindset?
The first thing, and even in business, when I'm coaching people in business, I'm like, the first thing is how you think. And how you think is a combination of the imprints you got when you were growing up, the behaviors, the attitudes, all the habits that you have. You start to think a certain way. So let's evaluate your thinking. And people are like, what? Let's evaluate the way you think right now. So certain situations, how do you think about this? Oh, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that. They'll never let people like us do that. Girls can't do that. Guys from Bernie, Texas can't do that, right? There are all these thoughts that come into our minds when it's time to do something big. And so I help them evaluate what level of, not level of conditioning, the level of thinking that they have before they ever pick up the sport. Because I'm like, this is going to either accelerate or slow you down. The way you think, your thought process, the way you approach things is going to either accelerate your ability to get to where you want to go, or it's going to severely hamper your ability to get to where you want to go. And once people grasp that concept, then they can be better prepared to be great at their sport. And I tell them, like, that thinking, because that's not the way you usually think, is going to creep back in. And if athletes are honest, and at some point we're all really honest, like, it's a continuum, it's a spectrum. You may be a tier A mindset person 90% of the time, but at some point, whether it's because of injury, a death in your family, a bad performance, just lifing, your old thinking is going to creep back in, and then you're going to be, this other person. So if you can, I don't like the word control, but if you can manage and monitor your mindset well, you can do anything. But it's literally our inability to stay in a certain state all the time. And I'm not sure we should. I think we should come in and out of that state. You got to be able to be empathetic. You got to be able to do these other things. Even Michael Jordan, even Serena Williams. I mean, I know these people, even they have doubts, but they still think a certain way. And so it's monitoring and managing and maximizing the right mindset to be able to accomplish what you want.
How big of a role do the parents play in that mindset for these young athletes growing up?
Ooh.
Be honest. We talk about being real, right? Be real.
Yeah. I think it depends on the kids. I think at a certain age, parents are everything. When a kid is like little, like 3 or 4, to probably, and it's different for every kid, obviously, 12 or 13-ish, 14, when they start feeling themselves, what the parents think, they typically think. I remember when I was growing up, I remember turning the corner where my parents would tell me things, and I would never say this because in my house, you don't talk back to your parents, but I was thinking, that's crap. I was thinking, like, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But I would never say that because
Yeah.
that's not the kind of household I grew up in. Like I can think all I want to think, but I'm not going to say to my mother or my father, I don't believe that. But
Yeah.
there were times that I did think that. And I think once you start to get past the 13-ish, you start to question your parents, even if you don't verbalize it. You start to question that everything they tell you is, golden, is right.
Yeah.
And I think once you get to those early teens, it's natural and for some students and for some kids earlier to start thinking, questioning whether your parents really know what they're talking about.
Yeah. 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 So, I think the parents want to play a vital role in the success of their children, right? And
Yeah.
I absolutely want to play a vital role, in Max's life. One of the hardest parts for me is like I know a lot about baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and Max plays baseball at a high level. It is now, he's 14 years old, and it is now to the point where I'm like, hey, the way I play a vital role is let me step back, get out of the way, go do your thing. But my consistency of when he was young, and I had to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
So from 2 or 3 to like 9, 10, I was like, no, we got to do this and we got to do that. It was all about the do, right?
Yeah.
And what I was seeing in him was like he didn't want to do, and when you don't want to do, you burn kids out. And when you burn kids out, they don't fall in love with the sport. And
Mm-hmm.
then I can't remember who it was, but I found something online, listened to a video, and they were like, look, at a young age, just allow the athlete an environment to fall in love with the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put so much freaking pressure on them to win, or to be perfect. Baseball is a game of failure, right? So when I changed my mindset from about 10 or 11 years old to where he is now, man, he loves the sport more than ever, and he's excelling right now more than ever, and he has the drive now more
Yeah.
than ever. Now that may change, when he gets a license and he can drive his own car
Right.
and he's got a girlfriend, the girlfriend calls him up and says, hey, let's go to the pool party versus going to the cage and working out. Man, that's on him. That's a decision he's going to have to make, right?
Yeah.
Because that decision is what every athlete is faced with, both men and women, right?
Yeah.
But as of right now, man, mindset plays such in my opinion, it's probably the number one aspect of being a professional athlete. If that's where eventually you want to get to, your mindset has to be there. And like you
Yeah.
said, it's got to be there a lot of percent of the time. We're
Yeah.
human. We're human. Things are going to happen. We're going to make mistakes. We're all fallen. We're all non-deserving of God's grace, right? So, but to lock in, fall in love with the game, and if you're in love with the game, then you're locked in, and that locked in creates a good mindset that allows you to excel. And all those B skills that people dog you about in whatever sport that you're in, have that A mindset. It gets you to the next level, and it gets you to the next level quickly, and coaches love you.